The United Kingdom. A nation that once commanded oceans, conquered continents, and shaped the modern world. Today, it is a country struggling to understand itself, a place where history and wealth coexist with inequality and disillusionment. But what is wrong with the United Kingdom, and how did this once great nation find itself on the edge of social and economic collapse?
Bye-bye. Fake news. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Ratio of debt to GDP was 30%, right? It is now quite close to 100%.
Let's start with money. London remains a global financial capital, home to skyscrapers, hedge funds, and billionaires. The city generates enormous wealth that never trickles down to most citizens. Outside the shiny glass towers, life tells a very different story. The UK's economy has been in long-term decline for many regions. The north of England, once a powerhouse of industry, has been hollowed out. Steel mills, coal mines, textile factories, all gone. Communities that thrived for generations are now left with unemployment, underfunded schools, and boarded-up high streets. In towns like Rotherham or Burnley, the decline isn't just economic, it's cultural. Shops close, young people leave, and families feel trapped in a cycle of stagnation. And yet in London, the story is almost the opposite. The city is booming, but at a cost. Housing prices have skyrocketed. The average London home now costs over 10 times the average salary, creating a city where millions of essential workers, teachers, nurses, bus drivers can't afford to live. This isn't an abstract problem, it's a daily struggle. Families commute hours each day, sacrificing time, energy, and well-being just to survive. And the cost of living crisis has amplified this tension. Energy bills have doubled in the last few years. Food inflation has surged. Wages for most people have barely moved, leaving millions financially squeezed. Young adults, in particular, are facing a generation-defining challenge: student debt, sky-high rents, and the impossibility of buying a home. According to recent surveys, nearly half of people under 35 feel they will never own property. For many, the dream of independence, of security, has evaporated. Beyond economics, there's a stress that London represents nationally. The city is overcrowded, polluted, and relentlessly expensive. Public transport is over capacity, roads are congested, and healthcare and social services struggle to keep up. Mental health crises are rising. Anxiety, depression, and burnout are becoming the norm rather than the exception. And yet, the glamour of the city masks a hidden truth. Wealth exists alongside deprivation, and the city's success hides a widening national divide. Outside London, inequality manifests differently, but just as sharply. The Southeast thrives, attracting investment, skilled workers, and international attention. Meanwhile, much of the North, Scotland, Wales, and post-industrial towns languish. Infrastructure is underdeveloped, schools and hospitals are stretched thin, job opportunities are scarce. And this unequal development isn't just economic, it shapes people's sense of identity and belonging. In towns left behind, resentment grows. Brexit in many ways was a referendum on this inequality. Areas that felt ignored for decades sent a clear message: we are frustrated and we feel unheard. Political dysfunction only deepens the problem. Governments have been plagued by scandal, indecision, and polarization. Public trust is at record lows. Decisions that affect everyday lives, housing, healthcare, education, transport, are often delayed or poorly executed. The NHS, once a symbol of social progress, is under unprecedented pressure. Waiting times for surgeries and emergency care are longer than ever. Staff burnout is rampant. Education struggles with overcrowded classrooms, teacher shortages, and underfunded schools, leaving the next generation ill-prepared for an increasingly competitive world. Housing itself is a crisis. Home ownership, once a pillar of stability for British families, is slipping out of reach. Rents in major cities have soared by over 50% in the past decade, while average wages have barely increased. Young professionals are forced into shared flats or long commutes. Families sacrifice essentials to cover rent. And the government's attempts to address the crisis, through schemes like Help to Buy, often end up inflating prices further, creating more inequality rather than solving the problem. Housing, it seems, has become both a financial and social trap. Yet the problems go beyond money, politics, or housing. Social cohesion is fraying. Crime rates in some urban areas are rising. Mental health issues are at historic highs. Trust in neighbors and institutions is eroding. Communities that once formed the backbone of British society now feel fragmented. Multiculturalism, once a source of cultural strength, is increasingly politicized, creating tension instead of understanding. And the cultural identity of the nation itself feels unsettled. Debates over history, monuments, and national symbols often reveal a society unsure of what it stands for. Inequality, political stagnation, and social stress are intertwined. The UK is a country of contradictions. Wealth is concentrated at the top while many struggle to survive. Political institutions are slow to adapt, leaving citizens frustrated and divided. Some regions thrive, others decay. London prospers while post-industrial towns languish. Education, healthcare, and public infrastructure are uneven, and this structural imbalance affects every aspect of life, from mental health to career prospects, from housing stability to community trust. But Britain's story isn't only about decline. The UK has faced crises before and emerged stronger. It rebuilt after 2 world wars. It adapted after the collapse of its industrial base. Innovation, resilience, and civic spirit remain part of the national DNA. Solutions exist: investment in neglected regions, affordable housing, fair wages, and a political system that truly listens to its citizens. The challenge is enormous, but the opportunity is real. The question is whether the UK will confront its problems or continue drifting, trapped between the glory of its past and the uncertainty of its future. Because what is wrong with the United Kingdom is clear, but what it could become, the story it could write next, that is still unwritten. Britain is rich, Britain is historic, Britain is powerful, but unless it confronts its inequalities, its political stagnation, and its social stress, it risks becoming a country defined not by its potential, but by its failures. The United Kingdom can rise again, but only if it chooses to face the truth. Only then can it reclaim its greatness, not for the few, but for all of its people. Because the United Kingdom, for all its problems, is still capable of greatness. The real question is whether it will choose to seize it. Tell us what you think about the United Kingdom, or is your country in similar situation? Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis of contemporary and historical issues.